Welcome to the community briefing, and good afternoon to a few of you who are in the Eastern or Central time zone. My name is Gregory Sneed, and founder and CEO of Lifesaver Financial Services, one of the co-hosts here at the community briefing. Today is March 27th, 27th of 2025. And last week was our 5-year anniversary. So we have been doing this darn thing, educating the community, bringing quality content, and having some fun, and every now and then acting up and stirring the pot and instigating. Speaking of stirring the pot and instigating, I'm now going to bring to the virtual stage Miss Crystal Mitchell, who is our resident. Well, first off, she's the host of the community briefing here, but she is our community instigator. She is our African American Women History Queen. So please join me in welcoming Crystal Mitchell.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Glad to be here. Glad you guys are here. Looking forward to our what our guest has to say to us. Thank you for joining the community briefing. And Greg is absolutely right. We're in our 5th year. In fact, in my memory Facebook feed, the very first presentation that I did for the for the pandemic and how to prepare yourself rolled through my feed yesterday, and that really was the beginning of this platform. So thank you guys all. And this platform is a result of me knowing that as the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, that we are always the least informed, and I want to make sure we are the most informed. So this is why this platform was inspired, but it did start during the pandemic to make sure all the money that was supposed to be coming to us from all that guilt that was out there was going to get to us, and then we could actually hold everybody accountable. So we've taken this show on the road, so to speak. And you're not Jeff. Oh, you're Jeff Duncan. Wait a minute, you're not Joseph Duncan. So I am so happy that we have this amazing team here that came together to make sure that we could keep this going on. We are powered and supported by Recycling Black Dollars and the BBA, the Black Business Association, as well as monetarily sponsored by Los Angeles LDC, Southern California Edison, PCR, Wells Fargo, and SoCal Gas. So we need to make sure everybody that wants their logo up on our back banner there, if you're interested, you can speak with Stephen and we can make that happen. Thank you guys for supporting us, and we want our regulars, thank you guys. Our new people, come back. And our team, Ms. Robin Billups, she is going to briefly say hello because she's not feeling well today, but she's here. She's the female energy. And then Stephen Turner, and I'm not sure what happened to Stephen, but Stephen is the producer, and he goes out and finds these amazing people to come and talk to us and share with us information that they have. And that's the purpose of this platform, is to make sure you know who our leaders and stakeholders are, and including yourselves, and that we are actively involved in making a difference for us and our community. And if I have to say that this is more necessary now than ever in the whole entire 250 years we've been on this planet and been in slavery, this is very important. We have to unify. We have to become create a solidarity amongst ourselves to make sure that we take care of not just us, but most importantly, our children that are coming up in this world behind us, and they're going to have less opportunities than we did. So we want to make sure that we are taking care of our own. And with that, I am going to kick it over to Ms. Robin.
Greetings, everybody. I have my sexy voice going on because I got a cold, but I was determined to be on here today because I'm a sports nut, and I'm from Showtime Lakers, so I had to hear what the Wilkins have to say. But what I want to share with you guys is this week I found a show. Malcolm Nance has been doing a podcast on YouTube, but he had an interview with a young man by the name of Terrell Starr. He's a Black journalist from Detroit who speaks 4 different languages, who actually has immersed himself in Ukraine. I'll be dropping that in the chat box because I think that everybody needs to hear this interview. They are giving us a clear understanding of what's going on, not just domestically, but globally, how these things are affecting us and what we need to do. My name is Robin Billups. I'm with the Billups Group, I assess, coach, and work with individuals who need to get strategic framework around the mission and the vision that the Lord has given them for their business. I look forward to today's show, and thanks for coming today. And for the new people, come back, and help us spread the word, because the whole mission is to impart, to educate, and illuminate information that our community needs. Greg, I'll kick it over to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Crystal. Our guest today is Damien Wilkins, and he is the general manager and head of basketball at Overtime Elite. And he's going to be sharing that a lot of information of what's coming there. He is a native of Washington, North Carolina. I did not know there was a Washington in North Carolina, but he's currently living in the ATL, and he attended NC State before transferring, get his degree at the University of Georgia. He says he's a 10-year veteran of the NBA. And I said, well, what team did he play for? Right? So I started doing some research, and said, looks like half of them. Look like half the teams. And I see he got the number 21 represented back there. My guess is that's not one of my faves, Earl the Pearl Monroe with the Knicks, but it's got to be Gerald Wilkins. I'm a Knicks fan, born and raised in Brooklyn, so definitely my heart's with the Knicks. But after retiring from the NBA, he started working as a regional representative for the NBPA. He supported players with resources off the court to help them further their careers. And currently, he's the general manager and head of basketball for Overtime Elite, a professional basketball league for high school athletes. And his post-playing career, he's doing everything to build business acumen with the goal one day running an NBA franchise. So please join me in welcoming to the virtual stage, Damien Wilkins.
Heck of an intro right there. Heck of an intro. Thank you guys for having me on. I'm thrilled to be on with you guys today. Stuff like this means a lot. I like meeting people. I like interacting with different people. You never know what you can learn from someone. So I'm certainly happy to be here. I met with Steve. He was just in our building. Jeff was in our building. Spent some time together, showed them around, and showed them what we do here. So again, thrilled to be here. Again, and thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you, sir.
So I guess in a nutshell, tell us the inspiration and what is Overtime Elite?
Man, we are a high school developmental league. And I say that because our focus is on developing these kids both on and off the court. We're a lot more than just basketball here. We encompass everything from brand building. And the reason why that's so important nowadays is because of the name, image, and likeness thing that's going on right now in sports that's gotten the transfer portal in a frenzy right now.
Big time.
So we're trying to help these guys build their brands before they get to their respective colleges. The bigger the brand, the more money that they can make, the more they can profit off of their name and image and likeness. We also have an academic component here at our building in our OTE Academy. Our guys are in school for about 4 hours a day, taking mainly and all core classes, cutting a lot of the fluff out so they can get more time to develop in other areas of our building, of our space. We have a nutrition component where all of our guys have meals that are catered to their nutritional needs in terms of what they need to do to be their best selves, both on and off the court, from a nutritional standpoint. We have a strength and development space and component as well, where all of our guys get their own strength and conditioning programs. And I think the unique thing about what we do is basically all the things I just said is we don't have a steady diet that we give all of our guys because all of these guys need something different. So try to give them all what they need for themselves, respectfully, to be the best that they can be. We have 8 teams in our league. 3 of those teams are here in Atlanta, and then 5 teams are outside of our city and other markets. So there's 2 in North Carolina, there's 1 in New York, there's 1 in Arizona, and there's 1 in Florida. We grew from 3 teams in our first year to 6 teams in our second year to 8 to 18s in our third and fourth year. So hoping to grow. We're talking to some other schools right now to expand our league and possibly get to 10 to 12 by the start of next season.
How was the league funded?
Through our media company and through all of our streaming. We are Overtime Elite. So basically, you look at it like this: Overtime itself is a media company, a sports media company that's been in existence for 6 years now. And what they did was start these different leagues under the Overtime umbrella. So Overtime Elite is one, OTX is one, which is a boxing league that we have. OT7 is our 7-on-7 football league, high school football league that we do. OT Select is our girls basketball component showcase that we do in the summertime for 6 weeks.
And where are the games played? What type of arenas?
We are played we play all of our games in our building here in Atlanta. We also travel, like our teams travel to each other's schools and cities to play there, but mainly our crown jewel is our show court here in our building in Atlanta. Jeff and Steve saw it. It seats about 2,000 people. It's got about 12 to 1,500 cameras in the building. So we can catch every action. We're streamed on Amazon Prime every weekend and YouTube. All of our games pretty much sell out. It's a real production, and I always tell people it's the best high school basketball arena in the country.
Now, the members of the team, are they in multiple leagues? They're not restricted. Are they restricted to your league?
They're not restricted to our league. They're restricted to our schedule. Right.
Uh-huh.
So, like, for instance, we have a team in Florida that plays they won the actual state championship. The team that's in our league that's in Florida won the state championship in Florida, and then they play in our league as well. So as long as there's no scheduling conflicts, they can pretty much do whatever they want outside of our league and our league schedule. We try to advise against it as much as possible because, once you get down to like playoff time, we like to have all of our playoff games here in our building because it just shows better. So a lot of times, for instance, that team that won the state championship, they were playing a game on Thursday, flying here Friday morning to play their playoff game in our league, flying back out Saturday morning to go play their state championship game in Florida. And after about 2 weeks, that caught up with them. So in the semifinal round, that team had no legs, no juice, no energy, and they just got blown out the building. Like, they had won the state championship on Thursday, played a semifinal game here on Friday, and had like nothing in the tank. So, like I said, we advise against it, but if they want to play basketball, a lot of basketball, and have a hefty schedule, then that's totally on them.
What time of year and how long is the season?
Our season is about 5 months, 4 or 5 months. We start when did we start this year? We started this year December 1st, and we ended about 2 weeks ago.
Got it. And now, do the families, do the kids have some financial contribution, or how does that work? It's obviously some of them have to travel. So the league gets funded. How do they manage?
Yeah, well, Overtime itself provides opportunities for NIL. We also partner. Adidas is our partner. Adidas also offers some of our athletes NIL opportunities. So a lot of our guys, they have, the ability and have different ways to profit from playing based off their name, image, and likeness. We can't at Overtime pay guys to play here. That's not what NIL is. But if they can, somehow find ways to profit off their name, image, and likeness, we help them with that. Again, Adidas, our sponsor here, gives guys NIL deals, and so does Overtime, our parent company.
How long has the league been up and running?
We just completed our 4th season.
Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you.
And these are high school students. So now, do you have graduates that have moved on into collegiate? And has anybody made the NBA or?
Yeah, we actually have more lottery picks in the past 4 years than any other institution in the country.
Hmm.
We have more top 5 picks in the past 3 years in the draft than any other institutional school in the country. Men and Asar Thompson, the two twins that play for Detroit and Houston right now, Detroit Pistons, Houston Rockets right now, they came from here. Dominic Barlow, he plays for the Hawks. Jazion Gortman plays in Dallas with the Mavericks. He's with the Mavericks organization. Jalen Martin, a kid that was here 2 years ago, he plays for the Wizards. Alex Sarr, who was the number 2 pick in last year's draft, plays for the Wizards as well. Who am I missing? Am I missing anyone? That's it. And then
Jalen,
I'm sorry.
the guy from Bishop O'Dowd, Jalen,
And
with
Jalen
Oakland.
Martin. Oh, he's with the Bucks. You talking about Tyler Smith? That's what I was missing. Yeah, Tyler Smith plays for Milwaukee Bucks, and then we have about 17 guys right now playing high major Division I college basketball. We have how many of our guys are in the tournament right now? Carter Knox with Arkansas is in the tournament right now. Nasir Cunningham right now is in the tournament right now playing with Alabama. BYU is in the tournament right now. They have Cannon Ketchens. He was here last year. And yeah, I mean, we average about 15 to 20 scouts in our building every game. We have a pro day that's coming up. Our OTE combine is coming up. So we'll have, upwards of 100 or so NBA, college, and overseas scouts in our building for that. All of our guys, rarely does anyone come here and not move on to some type of highly competitive basketball. We have two guys right now, two guys right now playing in Puerto Rico on their professional league. In their professional league, we have a guy playing in Dominican Republic right now in their professional league. So we have a lot of guys that's come out of here and made it to professional ranks, and again, to those high Division I powerhouses.
Now, you played in the league in Puerto Rico, and I'm not sure the Dominican Republic, but I know Puerto Rico. Tell us about that. How did that compare to the NBA?
It's nothing.
Huh?
It's professional, but comparatively to the NBA, it doesn't. They play hard. They play with a lot of pride. I was extremely blessed to have that opportunity to play there. But in comparison to the NBA is the pinnacle of basketball, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
everyone wants to be. It's certainly not that, but it's very competitive. It's been around for about 30 years now, that league. And they pay well.
So is the league more? I mean, because the NBA, probably gonna make it a little opinionated here, but the NBA moved a lot to the 3-point shot, and eliminated some of the hard kind of in the paint competition where that you see more at the collegiate level. How are you guys addressing that? Is it a mixture of both, or where's the focus on it?
We don't focus on that. I mean, the game evolves. That's just the game.
Yeah.
Like it evolves. And we obviously do our best to help our players evolve with the game. But at the end of the day, Joel Embiid doesn't shoot as many threes as Steph Curry, and he's still effective when he's healthy. So we just try to help our guys be the best basketball players that they can be. We get a lot of feedback from scouts. We get a lot of feedback from their college coaches in terms of things that they want us to help them work on. And we try to help these guys just be the very best that they can be and develop them as much as possible. Like in terms of the game and the evolution of the game, that's not, for us to kind of tailor that, because everyone isn't going to be Steph Curry. Everyone isn't going to be LeBron James. Everyone isn't going to be Kevin Durant. As a matter of fact, we don't even talk to our guys about trying to be that. We talk to them about trying to be the best version of themselves that they can be, and work as hard as they can to give themselves an opportunity to play professional basketball if that's what the future holds. We actually talk more to our guys about learning how to be role players, because that's likely the path that they're going to be.
Mhm.
Like, everyone's not going to be a superstar. It's 450 NBA players right now. 430 of them are role players. It's only about 20 superstars in the NBA when you think about it. Even the guys that you might think of as, really, really good, they're role players at the end of the day, right? Like you take even the time when, Golden State, for instance, were winning a lot of games. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry were their best players. Everyone else on that team was a role player, even Klay Thompson, right? Like you take Miami Heat when they had LeBron James and, Chris Bosh was a role player. Dwayne Wade was a role player at that time, right? Like Ray Allen, he's a Hall of Famer, but at that time he was a role player. He just played a role. Like the guy was LeBron. Um, you look at the Lakers right now, like everyone on that team has a role. Like LeBron is a guy, Luka's a guy, everyone else is a role player. So, we try to help our guys understand the paths of people like PJ Tucker as opposed to Kevin Durant. Like, because it's ain't but one of those guys, a superstar, but PJ Tucker has had a 15-year NBA career, has made over $140 million playing basketball. So,
Mhm.
I take that. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly take $140 million to play basketball. It's just
I
it's
kind
just a
of
matter, it's just a matter of being honest, right? Like you got to
In
be honest
reality.
with guys, and you got to help them understand that like we got to be honest with you now, because if you ignore honesty now and if you lie to them now, someone down the road is going to be really honest with them, and they're not going to be prepared for that, right? So telling them now, the importance of being honest with them right now and being real about who they are and what their trajectory is now is the best thing that we can do for them, because it helps them understand that like moving forward, if you're fortunate enough to make it to college ranks and the professional ranks, like those coaches and those organizations are going to be honest with you, right? Like they're coaching for their jobs, they're coaching for their lives, they're trying to run a team for for their families, and they're not trying to lose their job or their opportunity because they've lied to a player.
share with us a
And
little bit more about a lot of the off the court things that you're focusing on. I mean, one of the key things right there, as you mentioned, is that everybody's not going to be a superstar. As you're a young kid and you're playing, you've got dreams of, being in the in college and the NBA and being the MVP and all this. You have those dreams, at some point in time, if you realize that, you stop at 5'9", you're not going to be a five on an NBA team, So how do you manage that and talk a little bit more about the other programs that you guys are working with these young men?
Well, we try to do a lot of things with our guys in the community. Number one, like we try to get them out in the community to meet people, to be around people, to network with people. We have a huge, I guess, contingency of investors who are super duper popular and well known. We have about 14 NBA players who have invested in our company. Drake, the musician, the artist, is invested in our company. Jeff Bezos has invested in our company. So all of those people and their networks, we try to surround, we try to surround our players with those people, because at the end of the day, basketball isn't promised, right? Like you can go out there today, God forbid, one of our guys can be training and get hurt or something, and that could be the last day he bounced a basketball. But that doesn't mean you can't be successful in life because you can't play basketball. So we try to get these guys, in front of as many people as possible and help them understand the power of networking, the power of collaboration, the power of community, and the power of supportive community, and out of yourself, getting out of yourself and getting into and helping others, and building your own respective network around you based on the people that, and the organizations that you're working with. For me, for instance, like I think everything that I've pretty much done and been able to accomplish was because I wasn't so introverted as a young player growing up. Like I took advantage of all the things that was presented to me. Like I never missed a chance to go do a meet and greet when I was playing in the NBA, because I always felt that the NBA was just a small step, as big as an accomplishment it was, and it seems for a lot of people, and it is. I always felt like that was just a step in the direction of something that I was going to do bigger down the road. Like I still feel that way. I still feel like basketball was just a launching pad to something else. Like I don't know what that something else is. It could be this, it could be something after this. Who knows? But so I just try to help those guys understand what the reality is. And that reality goes back to the superstars and the people that, if you look at the history of professional athletes as a whole, not many people retire from playing sports and end up in this lavish life of like I can do what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like it's a very small window of your life, right? Like I can be an investment banker for 50 years. I can be a hedge fund manager for 20, 30 years. I can't play basketball that long. You know, like it gets talked about that LeBron James is playing basketball still at the age of 40 because it just doesn't happen, right? So like after that small window from 3 to 5 or to 5 to 7 or 7 to 12 years, that's literally from your 20s to 30s. You know, like after you retire at 33, 34, 35, you got way more life to live. So like what
Mhm.
now, right? Like so just trying to help these guys understand that life, the life of basketball, that life is very, very short, you know, comparative to all the life that you're going to live after that.
Right.
And I think helping them put themselves in a position to be as successful as they possibly can be and meet as many people as they possibly can, that's what helped them further their professional lives.
Now you mentioned that Adidas is a major sponsor. Are the players able to wear other brands? Can they wear the sneaks they want? And
Yeah, you can
do you
wear
guys
whatever
have your
sneakers
own
you want.
merch?
Yeah, you can wear whatever sneakers you want. We do have our own merch. Adidas makes a lot of our stuff. The deal that we did with Adidas was ankles up. And when I say that, I mean like the shoe itself, it was either floor up or ankles up, and that's how they refer to it. So floor up, if we would have done the deal and it was floor up, then everyone would have to wear Adidas. What that does is cut our recruiting in half. So if we want to continue to go out and recruit anyone we want, we can't have a floor up deal, right? Because everyone doesn't wear Adidas. Like we had one of our guys here this year that was almost a McDonald's All-American. Like he wore Nikes all year long because that's what he wanted to wear. That was his shoe. His people at Nike took care of him and sent them Nike shoes to wear. Um, if we were a floor up deal, like we wouldn't have been able to get that kid. You know, so ankles up gives us a lot of flexibility, and it allows guys to make the choice whether or not they want to wear Adidas.
Do you have your own shoe?
Me, no,
Yeah.
no, no. I don't have my own shoe. In fact, I have two
Not yet,
beautiful.
huh?
Couple questions. Are being that basketball or any sport is not lifetime because of body injuries and all of those things that go along with it, are you guys incorporating in this how to financially manage to make the money that they are making in the pros last a lifetime, investments and I think Stephen mentioned something about business acumen. Are you talking to them about creating their own businesses for life after the second act?
We don't talk to our guys about investing, and we don't talk to our guys about starting businesses. What we do, we have a program called Pro Habits. And within that Pro Habits curriculum, we talk about a lot about financial literacy. We talk a lot about being a professional. We have them meet with the NBPA, which is the National Basketball Players Association, the union of the NBA players. I actually worked there before I came here. And within though that curriculum, we teach them a whole lot about like life itself with finances. Um, as you know, with these guys, our age group here is 16 to 19. So meeting them where they are is very important to help them understand things. And right now, like if we talk to our guys about investing, like we don't have, I guess, the inner workings to be able to tell these guys what to invest in. All right. So a lot of it is meeting them where they are. Like we have to meet them where they are with things. Like we talk about investing and we talk about starting businesses. Now we're getting even we even getting out of our scope of things to talk about. And we just can't, like, again, we'll be lying to them, right? Like, we can't tell these
Right.
guys something that we don't even know, right? Like, that's just, respecting who they are and also knowing who we aren't. But we do, as best we can, try to help these guys understand the importance of saving money and, not being an overspender and all of those things. For the most part, they get a lot of stuff around here. Stephen and Jeff will tell you, like, they eat all day long here in our building. We have a cafeteria that feeds them. So it's not like they got to go out and spend money on food unless they want to. We also give them this thing called Moots. It's a it's a program that colleges use with their athletes where they can go out and it's like a DoorDash, but like
Mm.
we pay for it.
Oh,
So
okay.
they eat in-house, and then when they go back to the league apartments, they can order themselves food from Mooch on a budget that we give them. So for the most part, these guys, they're making enough money to go, shopping every once in a while and stuff like that. Some make enough to go buy a car if they want to, but we keep them in the building for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. So like, where are you going? Right. So a lot of times we try to partner with their families to help them, understand. And if they need any help with things, we try to partner with their families to help them, just understand the importance of being smart financially and all of those things. But again, having that conversation with a 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, it's not an easy conversation to have given where they are. And a lot of what we do is trying to meet them where they are, but also not being void of giving them the information.
Mm. Are you open to, say, others that have those expertise on financial literacy and how to manage money from on a long term longevity, not the short term, and as well as I teach kids how to be entrepreneurs, and my kids start from 13 to 18. How to create those businesses, and we've been doing that now for 17 years, and they do actually rise to that occasion. But the program we do, we actually pay them because we think everyone that is doing anything that's taking your time, you have to learn early that
Lose money.
your time is valuable, right? So there's compensation for that. So is that any opportunities there, even if it's a online course or something of that nature, that you guys would be open to doing that? Because if we look at the big time athletes, Serena got 45 businesses. Shaq got, you can't even count how many he has. So that is something that would be preparing them for their future.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly open to it. We try to do the best we can to help these guys with that same message. But we're certainly open to that. We try to get our guys to hear as many voices as they can about different things like that can help them not only now but down the road. But also it has to be for someone who actually thinks about opening businesses, right? Like a lot of these guys right now, they're not thinking about opening a business. They might not want to run a business. They might just want to find ways, different and creative ways to save money or make their money grow somehow without having to say, I think, and I mean this respectfully, but I think a lot of times like people get into these conversations so much about, oh, well, the first thing you have to do when you get some money is go get an LLC, go get a business, and go do that. It's like that's not for everybody. And you see that that's not for everybody because everyone doesn't do well at it, right? Like it's like we have all these financial bros and people telling people what to do with their money without asking them first, what exactly do you want your money to do for you? So I think that conversation should be and can be a lot more helpful to these guys once you get into figuring out what it is that they actually want to do first. Because I doubt the answer that they're going to give you is, well, I want to go broke, right? No one wants to do that. They're never going to tell you that. So it's like, okay, well, let me help you grow your money. Let me help you make this money trampoline. Let me help you put this money in the business that you might say you want to work on. But like we have 30 guys here, and I can promise you that all 30 of them don't have the same goals financially, right? So breaking down what each guy's goal is financially and then helping them figure out what's the best strategies is probably the best way to go about that. But it's certainly something that we're open to. I would love for our guys to learn that and not repeat the histories of the past. So yeah, we're open to it. I think we told Jeff that we're open to it. We're actually passing his information through our channels now, and we'll see what we can come up with. But that door isn't closed. I just want to paint a picture of what is like a real reality. Because these guys are coming from situations where, financially they weren't educated. They might be coming from families where now, a 16, 17-year-old kid is now the breadwinner, right? So he's not even
Right.
treated like a 17-year-old anymore in his home. Like he's being treated like the breadwinner when he's
Yeah, because that's his business for his family. The business is for the family, right? So if he
right.
doesn't know how to manage that business, then it can get out of control. Yeah, and I do agree. You have to meet them where they are, and so you come with them with opportunities that they relate to, like e-commerce and in being an influencer, which is a business, things like that. They're already doing that, but how do you manage that with the business acumen that you have,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
understanding what's real and what's not real? So yeah, so meeting them, yes, definitely, but wisdom is not, knowledge is wisdom, and so use it when
Sure.
you need to,
Sure.
right? And also get him into a position where you are, because that requires leadership. And even if you don't want to be your own entrepreneur on your own, you can be an intrapreneur, which is teaching you the business skills that an entrepreneur has, but you're using it from within a corporate type of environment with a lot more opportunity to inject your own ideas. And so, yeah, so just wanted to ask that. We got a couple of financial literacy gurus here online, and a couple of CPAs I see are online. So just those things that we from our coaching and consulting space, we know that is an issue for all people, not just Black folks, but for all people.
I just want to jump in here. One, I want to entreat you, Mr. Wilkins, and your family for how you guys have always represented and always been out front, pushing the envelope and sharing and caring. And of course, we read your bio and we know why you're doing what you do. I concur with Crystal. I truly believe everybody's an entrepreneur. You are a brand, you have a product that the Lord has blessed you with, and what you're doing is helping them to elevate and illuminate that. I truly also believe, though, that the sooner we can get them to start thinking about how does this happen? Where does a basketball come from? How is it manufactured? Where do these clothes come from? Where does your skills come from? The more we can help illuminate them from where they are. I used to recruit athletes for the University of Missouri the whole 4 years I was there. I'm proud to say that Kellen Winslow was one of my recruits. And you start looking at, what happens with athletes, right? You go from 8th grade to high school. Now you're the superstar in high school. You leave high school, you go to college, and now you're competing with other superstars. And I think people tend to forget that part about the steps that are taken to get there. But I just wanted to entreat you for what you guys do. I think that more people are talking about the fact. I have two sons. Matter of fact, today at 11, 12, I became a mother 44 years ago. And that young man is
Ah,
building stadiums all over the United States with AECOM. I'm very proud to say that I have two fine young males that I've put into the world. But what we always talked about was maximizing your potential. That we have to have some mantra that they can hone in on. We're here to support you. We're here to be supportive of what you're trying to do. I heard you loud and clear. When you grow up in the hood, which is what you're saying, when you grow up in the hood and you have to deal with stuff a lot early on in your life than you anticipated as a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, 14-year-old, then we have to meet them where they are. And I think it's a holistic piece. It's not only just the athlete, but the folks that are surrounded around them. I always told my kids, what you bring to the close to the breast is who and what you're going to be. Thank you for creating an environment where they have community, where they understand each other's experiences, and you guys are sharing with them your lived experience. And again, I just want to be thankful for what you're doing.
No, I appreciate that. That means a lot. We're trying our best, and as you know, it's different challenges every day when you have 30 kids coming from 30 different backgrounds, and you're trying to mix that in, and we spend the first, you know, 8 months of them on campus just trying to break bad habits,
Yeah,
right? We
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about we get a small window from where they come from. Like they reach us at 16 years old. So that's 16 years of whatever they have been dealing with, right? That we try to break down in, 8 months.
Yeah.
And it sometimes often is very, very challenging, right? And then you have families, they have their expectations, and then you have coaches and these family agents and advisors nowadays, they're starting to pop up out of nowhere. And I've sat in rooms where I've had to talk to them about expectations and all of those things, and it's like, well, my son was averaging 30 in high school, and I'm like, yeah, but he wasn't playing
Competing at another level.
Yeah, this is a different competition. Like I don't like there's some people you just have to say, you know what, you're just not good for our league. You're not good for our program. You're not good for
You
our
have to know that. You have to know that. And I appreciate you saying that, because sometimes people want to come in and tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You're the Lord gave you the vision.
I
They want to
trust me.
come in and tell you.
I've for some reason I met a lot of parents that's played in the NBA. And I'm just like,
Ooh,
wow, like I never
ooh.
saw you in the locker rooms that I was in, but apparently you did what I did. Like I never saw you on the court, but apparently you did what I did. So what do I know, right? Like, but that's a part of it too. That's a part of the challenge that I think the Lord has blessed
Another
me.
question I have, do they have an opportunity to play internationally? If because the NBA
Oh, yeah.
is becoming it's a global sport anyway,
Yeah,
right?
we have a kid here now. His name is Wei Zhao. He plays in China on their national team, and they're trying to get him back over there and not let him go to college because of how good he is. He has his own shoe. He has his own brand with the Chinese company over there called Li Ning. It's Dwayne Wade's shoe company that he's with. I mean, he's like a superstar right now in China.
That's perfect.
So
That global experience is good for our kids who are from the United States too. That's wonderful.
we also have we took our guys last year. We took a group of guys last year to Germany for the ANGT. It's a tournament that Adidas puts on over there with the Euro League. And this summer we're taking them to Abu Dhabi to play in that same thing. So
we don't mind being escorts.
So we try to get
Careful how you say that.
we try to give them as much exposure as possible, not
That's
just through
wonderful.
social media, but we try to help them to build on those brands that you're talking about, right? Like, and in those experiences, I think what happens organically is that they figure out all the other interests and things that they want to do. We have a kid now. His name is Diamant Blase. He is from France, and he's surpassed Overtime Elite's social media following since he's been here. Like Overtime Elite is at 300 million. I think he's at like 500 million.
Wow.
Across all of his social media. And he's here literally building his social media brand because he wants to model. He doesn't he's realized that basketball isn't my avenue. I'm just using basketball as a step. So what we're doing for him is helping him build on his social media. He makes more money off of his social media than he does in any other field that we can offer or give. Like, he doesn't even need the NIL money. He makes money off of TikTok, IG, and all of that based on his social media branding and building of that. So he is killing it right now. Like, we have to excuse him from practices and workouts so he can do TikToks. Like, he make like $3,000 every time he posts a TikTok. Like, so every time he's in a camera, he sets his camera up downstairs. All of our guys start running over to him and start getting in the background so they can, build their following up on that.
That's
So those
cool.
And that's a business. That's the business, right? That's the business kids get into today.
Business,
right?
like,
That's the business part of it. And
yeah, we don't have anyone here trying to open a restaurant and
right, yeah,
all
no,
that
this
stuff.
is the
Like,
business. This is
yeah,
this is the 2025 or this century business. All of us should be monetizing everything that we do, because that is where the money is, and it's coming from advertisers, because they understand where the money's coming from. So business comes at you however you can create an entrepreneurial opportunity that can make money. As long as you solving somebody's problem, you got a business. and
Yeah.
you got the perfect solution to go along with it. Now you just got to make sure you get the check that goes on the other side of it, no matter where it comes from, whether it's coming from
Sure.
the consumer itself or the affiliate that's behind the consumer, right? And so that's what we want them to do. Most of us here that are part of this group, we all are entrepreneurs, man. We know how to hustle a dollar when you need to make it.
Black in America.
We all Jamaican up in here.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
can I add something right quick? Can I
Yes.
add? I want to know, Coach Robinson, you're on deck, and then Jeff, you have to Coach Robinson. So, but Damon, I didn't want people to overlook this point that you were a high school McDonald All-American. You're groomed to be an NBA player, and you've taken that, and again, in the 4 years you've been in existence, your overtime in sports has generated more athletes in the NBA than any institution in the United States. I want people to realize that.
Lived experience.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
the
putting
average,
putting the main thing, right? Like Coach Robinson, you know this, right? Like before anything, you got to put the main thing. Like you're here for basketball, but you're also here to learn and you're here to grow. And I think for me, I gained the most success as a basketball player in the times that I was the most uncomfortable, right? Like everything that I wanted to accomplish was on the other side of difficult. And so many people get to that point and say they turn around because they're like, well, wait, this isn't for me, or I don't want to work that hard, or I didn't expect it to be the hill to be this much of a climb. I think for us, the minute we get these guys on campus, we know from day one, week one, who is here to make it and who's here, to do something.
Bluffing.
We already know because
Mhm.
everyone is in the gym on day one and day two. Energy is great, right? Like day 3, 4, and 5, day 6 and 7 are the days that I want to see.
The going gets tough.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see who's in the gym on day 7, day
Yeah.
8, month 2.
Right.
Who's still coming in here at night? Who's still getting extra shots up? Who's still doing the extra work? Who's still, more importantly, who's still asking questions,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for me, I try to make our program as uncomfortable as possible from the day that they get on campus, because that tells me right
It's
away.
coaching.
That tells me right away how bad you want it, right?
Mhm.
Because like you can't possibly believe that someone is about to pay you millions and millions of dollars without you going through any type of adversity.
Right.
You know?
Out of
That's
100
why-
that come in, how many will actually make it after a year?
We'll every year we basically recruit as many guys as we lost. This year we're gonna 15 guys.
Okay.
I have to go out as soon as this call is over with. I got to go out on the road and go talk to 6 kids, in the next week and a half. And of those guys that come in, once we get them here in August, I look around our building, we got 30 guys. I can tell you from week 1 who has a chance. I can't
Mhm.
tell you from week 1 who's going to make it. I can tell you who has a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And a lot of those guys who make it are the guys that you feel that you can look at, and it's like they are very, very stable and comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can throw anything at them, and they're like, "Okay, what's next?"
Right.
Some guys, the minute they say, "Man, when we going home? When's spring break? When is lunch? When can we get water? How
Whiners.
many more reps do we have?" Those guys.
Mhm.
Those are the guys right there. The line gets drawn in the sand
Mhm.
by them. Like we let them, we do what we do with all of those guys, and then they draw the lines in the sand of who they are and who they're gonna be.
Mhm.
And I tell them all the time, like, listen, they think being a McDonald's All-Americans automatically makes you a pro. Being a #1 player in high school automatically makes you a pro. That can be further from the truth. I was a #1 player in my class when I was a senior. I was a McDonald's All-American. After that, I still didn't get drafted to the NBA. Like the 10 years that I spent in the NBA, I had to work my butt off to get those 10 years. Like I didn't walk across the stage and shake a commissioner's hand. Like that was just hard work and the right opportunities, and also just, being respectful. and people knowing who I was as a person. So I try to help these guys understand that like nothing that you do and nothing that we do even guarantees anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if you work as hard as you possibly can each and every day with the intention of reaching your goals and limit the distractions as best you can, you're gonna at least give yourself a chance. And like for us, especially our community, like that's all we want. All we
Mm-hmm.
really want is a chance. Like just giving a chance to people that look like me means everything. Like to say I have a chance, because it wasn't that long ago we had no shot.
Right,
We
exactly.
didn't have a shot. But now you're telling me, okay, I got a chance. So a lot of this is under my control. A lot of it isn't. But you have to make sure you just give it all every single day. And the times that you get uncomfortable are the times that you're going to grow most.
Yeah, they pushing past their challenge. And the other thing is, I run a nonprofit for tennis players. So we're grooming tennis players to play in high school, college, specifically for college scholarships in the sport of tennis. But we got a couple of them that are going pro. But that's a one in a million. And so that's not our ultimate goal. But yeah, you have to understand that it requires work, and we too know who's going to put the work in and who is not going to put the work in. And then the other thing for us is who's doing it for their parents and who's doing it for themselves. Because if you're not, your heart is not in the sport that you're in, you are not going to rise to that cream of the crop, right? Especially if your parents have been pushing you, and um, and that's been the way it's been the whole time. You're doing this for mom or dad, and at some point that hard work is going to be too much hard work, and mom and dad need to get out here and do this if y'all want to relive this life,
Man,
because this ain't us,
Hey,
right?
Jeff got
talk
to come off
about it.
speaker. Jeff, you have to come off.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get down.
Yeah, got a hard drop at 3. Steve, let me make sure I'm speaking to the audience, which you want me to speak to. So, what do you look at me to speak to specifically?
Oh, about the financial implications of the league and how it can change the lives of students. What question do you have, Damien, rather?
Yeah, my first question is, can you talk to my kid who's a 10-year-old, made his first AAU team about that work ethic it requires to even just to get to the college level, right? Let alone the NBA. Yeah, from a business perspective, I wanted you to share with the call here, you know, uh, your revenue streams to date, and then kind of where your projections are, right? You mentioned having a lot of high visibility equity um, partners in this deal now. I know they love the game, but I mean they're businessmen, right? So they're going to want to see a return on investment. So can you kind of speak to, yeah, what the plans are for increasing top line and therefore bottom line and getting that ROI for investors?
Well, I'll correct you on that. None of those guys love the game. They just want to, they just want to know if they're gonna get their money back. For us, it's just about being, as innovative as possible, right? Like we have to continue to get talent in here. We have to continue to generate interest. One thing that makes the NBA the NBA is people watch. So what are we doing to continue to make people watch us? And that is putting a great product on the floor. We have to continue to be the premier basketball league in the country. Like, we have to put on a good show. And that's going out and recruiting some of the top talent. That's where it first starts. And then also being able to create, a product that everyone wants to stream and see when you're not seeing it live. Like, are you going to go out and go to YouTube and watch it and build our subscribers up? And then that subscribers, as you know, is equals money. Amazon Prime, they're going to continue paying us as long as we keep putting out great stuff. Like we have a 2-season docuseries on Amazon Prime right now called One Shot. And that's on Amazon Prime right now. Like we're filming our 3rd season currently. Because that did so great in terms of views, like that was profit, and then it's our social media component, which is our biggest component, right? We try to continue to elevate social media. We try to continue to, and that actually started with our building up our girls league, our OT select league brought us huge amounts of money because we came in at the time where women's basketball was so profitable and started to get so popular. So we have that showcase in the summer for 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks that we do. That's helped put eyes on us. So for us, it's about views, as you know, from a social and digital media marketing thing. We don't, our highest ticket is, I think, what, $50 or something like that. Like, we don't make money off ticket sales. We give tickets away for free. We want people watching. Like, yeah, we want our gym packed, but for us, like, we would rather we can sell out one side of our building where the camera is facing.
Right.
We don't care anything about it, because it's about the look.
Right.
Yeah, it's about the look. So we can fill up the one side, let the camera see that. It'll look like a sellout.
Yeah.
Right. And we can tell those other people, no, go home, stream it. We want you to stream it to get those numbers up. So for us, that's what it's about. And the more people that we continue to come out of here and be successful, be at the college level or the professional level, specifically, and preferably, like, that is where the revenue comes in. And then when it's our corporate sponsors, Bevel, Adidas, Gatorade, State Farm, who am I leaving out? Elf, Chase Bank,
Yeah.
T-Food, Uber, all of those companies.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're talking with, they're giving us money just to put their little logo somewhere, and then we'll do something with them.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah,
What's your
that's
minimum age again? The minimum age to come in is, you said 16?
16. My son and another kid that we had here have been the two youngest to be here. And my son came in here when he was in 8th grade. But that was because his dad worked here and ran the building.
Yeah, the hookup. Yeah, the hookup.
And his granddaddy was a basketball player.
Yeah, the hookup.
Told me he wanted to play basketball at a high level, so I threw him right to the Wolves.
David, I have one other quick thought. So as a partner at Aprio, I help a lot of companies get through acquisitions, right? Getting their accounting done and talking their strategy with their CEOs and founders. Even our own company, Aprio, we've grown through a lot of inorganic growth, right? So everything you're talking is organic growth, but are there opportunities that you think might be out there to acquire other associations, bring them into your fold and elevate them, right, to grow your viewership, your everything that you mentioned?
Yeah, because outside of what I mentioned, right, there's always other eyes, right? Those are eyes that's on us, right? But the other eyes that's not on us, like, where do we get those from, right? I think that's what you're alluding to, right? Like, where do we get those other eyes from? So for us, we're always looking for opportunities, and partners to come on board with us to say, hey, like, for instance, I was just in a meeting with Uber a couple weeks ago, and what they're trying to do is launch, I don't know if you guys know this, they're trying to launch a Uber Teens, like, for teenagers.
Yeah.
So, like, they launched this thing on their Uber app where you got to put your age in. If you're a teenager, they monitor you differently after that, right? So for us, we have all of these teenagers in our building that use Uber, right? So, like, if they're using their app, they're talking about it on Uber's website or Uber's social media. And every time you see an OTE game, you see Uber up there, and then that's another teenager. Like, we have people that literally drop their kids off at the games and leave like it's the mall. Right? So what we can do is give those parents Uber teen codes. So in turn, what they can do is just call an Uber for their teenage kid that wants to come to a game. Like, those are profitable partnerships, right? That also bring, put eyes and visibility on us. So those are creative ways that we can come up with. Chase Bank, I deal with Chase Bank. We sign with Chase Bank. Chase Bank gives our athletes, $1,500 Visa cards, and
they don't give them, they allocate.
Well, they allocate.
Watch your language, because give me, you don't have nothing to give back, right?
They allocate. I'm
a words person.
Dollar gift cards and give to our guys, and our guys use those gift cards. Every time they use those gift cards, they get a point for another card that they can get from them. So they're helping them build up their credit history.
Mm,
There's a
nice.
component in it where they're helping them build up their credit history without even having to pay back what we pay back as adults that when we use a card. So it's things like that that we're always looking to do and partner with it. People can just come with us with creative things, and we sit down and have the conversation long enough, we can come up with something.
Okay. Well, you
Well,
have
we
been
got
awesome. I'm
Coach
sorry.
Robinson.
I
I
want
would
to hear
like
from
to.
Coach. I want to hear from Coach Robinson. I know.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
please.
All right.
Thank
Sorry.
What's going on, man? I'm just trying to sit here and learn, man. That's it. But Darrell Robinson, assistant athletic director, head basketball coach in Tulsa, Oklahoma at Crossover Prep Academy.
Okay, I played in OKC.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
So I'm not from I'm not from here, but I just moved back. That's why I want to raise our kids that me and my wife do.
Okay, I
Well,
understand.
I've been blessed. My resume ain't like yours, but I've been blessed to play overseas, a couple of years over in England and Scotland. Then I've been blessed enough to coach at the high school level, junior college, and pro level. I really feel like my calling is the high school level, and I love where I'm at. And I love what you were saying to talk about meeting the players where they at. I think that's like one of the biggest things you was talking about, like having a kid just go and TikTok me to practice was just wild to the regular person. But that right there builds a stronger relationship with the kid. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. And then also you was talking about the work ethic, about players, and you can see it in them. And I preach to my players about falling in love with the process instead of the results.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fall in love with the process, your results are going to be a whole lot better. So just fall in love with the everyday work of improving. So I really got that out of it. But I wanted to ask you, are you a reader? You read books?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Two of my favorite books. I don't know if you read John Thompson's I Came as a Shadow.
I have not read that book, but it was gifted to me about
You
a
gotta
month
read
ago. This is the book that I've been reading. It's called The Man, the Moment Demands by Jason Wilson. I'm about halfway through it.
The Man,
So
the Moment.
I'm actually The Man,
Okay.
the Moment Demand.
All right.
I'm about halfway through it right now. I got about another 4 days. I'll be done with it. I'm gonna take this on the road with me while I'm traveling. It's a great book. I definitely read.
I tell people like two of the best books I read is John Thompson's I Came as a Shadow because it's so dynamic. And then Brandon Fleming's memoir. It's called Miseducated. So with John Thompson, what made me ring with that one, what you said about like beyond basketball, what are you gonna do? So John Thompson had a part where he would keep a flat basketball in his office. And he would ask his players, so what are you gonna do after this stop bouncing? Because one day it's gonna stop bouncing. So it'll make you work and think about like what is your thing after, to where it's beautiful. Like I tell people, he had a whole chapter of Allen Iverson, and of course he had a teammate, had Bill Russell as his teammate. Then he's also was coached by Red Auerbach. It's so many different dynamics in that book, man. I recommend anybody to read it.
No, I'll check that out. I'll add that to my book list. And the thing about, his analogy with that is like it's almost like you gotta scare them a little bit.
Yeah.
You gotta scare them
uncomfortable. What you said, uncomfortable.
Yeah, you gotta make them uncomfortable. And you have to scare them a little bit because like what they think is and what they don't realize is like it's gonna stop.
Yeah.
Like, and most of the time it stops. When it does stop, it's out of your control.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's most of the time it stops, it's out of your control. Like you either, just don't get another contract. God forbid some type of injury happens, like whatever the case may be, it stops. Right. So you have to be constantly being mindful of that. Like it has to be in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
And when you're young, it's hard to look that far ahead. However, like we don't have the luxury of that. Like we don't have the luxury to look too far ahead. We just don't. Like we don't have that, we don't all come from that background where there's
privilege.
a safety net. You can fall, right? Because if you fall, a lot of times in our community, especially, like if you fall, you fall you're falling somewhere where a whole lot of other people are that can't help you get back up.
Yeah.
So like we have to start thinking long term, and I try to tell our guys that all the time, even when it comes to colleges nowadays, because a lot of times our guys get stuck in trying to pick the college or the school that's going to give them the most NIL money, right? I think that's a mistake. I
Mhm.
always say pick the school that's going to give you the most opportunity
Community.
more than that NIL money.
Yeah.
Right. So if, for instance, University of Kentucky offered me $1 million to go there right now, most people look at that and be like, how can you turn that down? Right. Now, if University of Central Florida offer me $400,000 and tell me you're gonna play 40 minutes a night, I'm going to UCF.
UCF, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not trying to be at UCF long.
Right.
And that $1 million that Kentucky gonna give me, it, as we know as adults, it ain't $1 million.
Yeah.
That's first.
30% off of taxes.
Oh God.
That's gone. You can count that already. That's
Yeah.
gone. You ain't even getting $1 million. So I need to go somewhere that's gonna give me the opportunity to make life-changing money
Mhm.
And develop as a person.
and develop as a person. So
Who the coach is.
give me
Speaking of books and coach, Coach Wooden is another
Coach
book.
yeah.
That's
Give
another good one to pick up. Yeah.
Give me the 40 minutes,
We're running out of time.
300,000, and
Yeah.
I'll do what I got to do with
Right.
that.
Right.
Damien, can you share this video with your kids?
This is a message that they get from me all the time, so I don't need to share this. This is everyday me, like with our guys.
But Damien, on behalf of all at the community briefing, we thank you. Whitney paged me. She told me to wrap it up.
So
Of course
we're
you
going.
did.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for being
you.
here. This video will be up on our YouTube channel. So, Coach Robinson, if you want to share it with your guys or
Oh,
any
most definitely.
any other coaches that are on here, you want to share it with them, you can go over there. It'll be up by this weekend, and I will. Damien, I'm already connected with you on LinkedIn. Coach Robinson, if you're there, I will connect with you, and then I'll tag you in it, and then that way you can then take it and share it with your young men and everyone else. Because, truth be told, guys, we are the village. And the village requires all of us and all of our wisdom to help guide our children to be successful. And more importantly, now than it ever has been in the history of America, it's time for us to really step up and take care of our own and make sure our own are protected and safe, and that whatever's happening externally has nothing to do with them, because they got what they need and they got it from the people that love them and look like them. So that's where we need to be. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. In the chat, there's a number of flyers that I've put in there. Tomorrow, the BBA, Saturday, the BBA is celebrating the Salute to Women. So you can still get your tickets over there. It's going to be an amazing event. Starts at 8 o'clock and ends at 4. Vendors, just some beautiful Black women coming together, doing their thing, taking care of their people and taking care of their community, and raising up.
Hey,
and
all the single
celebrating.
fellas, y'all hear her. She opening the door for y'all, man.
So the amazing women that'll be there, some of them that are on his call today are here. And as well as I put in, if you're interested in doing business with the city of LA for all that is going on, the rebuilding of Altadena Palisades, as well as the upcoming Olympics, Heather Hunt, Councilwoman, she is having an event tonight. It's live. And so the flyers there, if you are available, please try to make it out there. And for any of you that have children between the ages of 11, 13, and 18 that are looking to put them in a productive summer program that they actually get paid for, and as well as they can win some amazing prizes. The Biz Camp summer program is, we have 2 cohorts and we are recruiting right now. So send your kids to us. Come on down. We had a kid last year he made actually $17,000 last year off of competing in business camps. And he got to go to New York, and he got to sit down with Damon John for 45 minutes. And hopefully he secured his funding for his new platform. So let's see if your children are going to be one of those. And with that, thank you guys all for joining us. For those of you that are new, please come back. This is the platform to be on every Thursday morning at 11
Hey,
a.m.
what happened?
What happened? Pacific Standard Time. So thank you guys. We will see you all next week. For those of you who are regulars, if you want to stay for the afterglow, you are more than welcome to. That's the conversation we can have off air. And so we will see you guys next week if you can. Bye bye. And let me stop.